Assalamualaikum and a very good day. We are from Group 2 for tutorial Thursday, 12 to 1 p.m. My name is Muhammad Hakimi bin Salihuddin, matrix number 156704. So today with me are my group mates, starting with Ahmad Rashid and Shafiq bin Roslin, matrix number 159544. Muhammad Nabil bin Muhammad Isham, matrix number 158981. And lastly, Muhammad Hazwan bin Muhammad, matrix number 159590. So for today, we'll present a topic titled Multiple Choice Items for the Selected Subject, which is English, for 3 levels of the revised Bloom's Taxonomy. So without any further ado, let's jump right in to the introduction. So since its initial publication in 1956, Benjamin Bloom's taxonomy has been put to a number of different uses, some of which include the development of digital tasks, the evaluation of software programs, as well as the formulation of inquiries and evaluations. Revised, the cognitive and affective learning domains are the primary areas of concentration in Bloom's taxonomy, which is used to identify the components of educational objectives. The new classification method divides knowledge into the following 6 categories, which are knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and lastly, evaluation. But the stages or categories that my friends and I will be covering today are comprehension, application, and analysis. So based on the study that was made by the University of Central Florida, it was said that Bloom's taxonomy was developed so that educators could have conversations about how to teach and evaluate student growth in a manner that could be understood by everyone. So the taxonomy can be utilized to test one's level of learning on a wide variety of cognitive domains. In addition to this, it can be utilized to determine particular learning results. So before we talk about the 3 categories, let's discuss on why should a teacher or just any educator should use the Bloom's taxonomy. Firstly, the Bloom's taxonomy can help pupils or students to develop high-order thinking skills, or is commonly known as HOTS. By initially concentrating on students' core skills, teachers can use Bloom's taxonomy to guide students towards the development of higher order thinking. Examples of both behavioral and cognitive learning objectives are offered in order to illustrate how Bloom's taxonomy may be incorporated into overall educational goals or concepts. The second reason why a teacher should use Bloom's taxonomy is that it can help the teacher to establish goals for learning. Teachers can benefit from Bloom's taxonomy because it provides clarity regarding the structure, content, and order of the classes they aim to teach, as well as the knowledge and abilities they want their students to acquire. When students explain their ultimate objectives right at the beginning of the school year, when teachers explain their ultimate objectives right at the beginning of the school year, students have a far better idea of how they will get there, which gives the students' individual assignments a deeper sense of purpose. The third and final reason on how a teacher can benefit from the Bloom's taxonomy is that it can help a teacher to evaluate the development of your students. So teachers can use the Bloom's taxonomy to design assessment questions and projects that are tailored to the learning outcomes of the course and demonstrate students' general comprehension and command of the subject matter. In order to fully benefit the Bloom's taxonomy, a teacher can use the Bloom's taxonomy in order to reach the learning objectives. For instance, based on the subject that we chose and the skills that we are focusing, which are reading skills, here are the focus and learning standards that we can refer to. So this is known as the KSSM, or Standard Based Curriculum for Secondary School. If utilized wisely, the Bloom's taxonomy can assist the teacher in order to achieve the learning objectives. Like how I said earlier, there are 6 levels in the Bloom's taxonomy. Each level is conceptually different, but there are only 3 levels that will be revised and discussed by us today, which are comprehension, followed by application, and lastly, analysis. So with that, I'm passing this presentation to the next presenter, Muhammad Hazwan, where he will be explaining the first level, which is comprehension.
Hi and Assalamualaikum Doctor and everyone. My name is Muhammad Hazan bin Muhammad. My metric number is 159590. So today I'm going to talk about the comprehension. First of all, I'm going to explain what is the comprehension. So the definition is to demonstrate comprehension through one or more forms of explanation. Next. All right, so this is the example for a multiple choice item for comprehension. So the question is Cindy loves to do different things at the amusement park. She plays at the game booth, goes for roller coaster rides, and queues for cotton candy with her friends. She hopes she can visit the amusement park every day. So, what is the main idea of the passage above? A. Roller coaster rides at amusement parks are fun. B. You can do a lot of different things at amusement park. C. You should visit the amusement park every day. So, can you guess what is the main idea of the passage above? So we have to take note for the multiple choice question for comprehension. It is a text-based question and also MCQ, which is test reading, understanding, and summarizing or paraphrasing. And for the learning standards, the keyword is to summarize, which is students have to understand and summarize the main points from simple longer text. So this is the comparison for different levels of learners based on their characteristic and levels. So for the characteristic, we have text length, vocabulary, and topics. And the level of learners, we have beginner, intermediate, and advanced. For text length, beginner is short, around 2 until 4 lines. Intermediate is moderate, around 1 to 3 paragraph. And for advanced is longer, around 3 until 5 paragraph. For vocabulary is beginner is simple words, intermediate a few low frequency words, and for advanced usage of low frequency words that would require student to guess the meaning in order to understand the keys of the text or passage. And for the topic, the beginner is personal and mostly lighthearted. Intermediate could be personal or involve other parties such as family, neighborhood, school, peer environment. And for the last one, in the advanced is about serious topic, possibly international affairs. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to Doctor and fellow friends. My name is Faisal Shafiq and I'll continue the presentation with the next level, which is application. So application, which comes from the word apply, and in the context of Bloom taxonomy, which define the use of information or any skill in a new situation or even a different situation to complete a piece of work. So the application level is where the students move beyond basic comprehension in order to begin to apply what they have learned. The students are also expected to use concept or any tools to enhance the application process. The learning increases when the students are introduced to course concept and they've been given opportunity to practice applying them. When the students are able to apply an abstract idea to a concrete situation, maybe to solve a problem or maybe to answer some few questions, so they are showing their level of proficiency in this context. So here is one example of multiple choice question for application. So for example, how long fill in the blank Korean? So based on the answers provided, student will need to understand, they need to identify which answer suits the best for the question, such as like, are you learning, have you been learning, do you learn or you learn? So the answer that been picked by student will depends on how they understand, how they comprehend the question. The next part is the characteristic of application level in Bloom Taxonomy, which start with grammar-related question, such as MCQ, fill-in-the-blank question, just like the Korean question just now. So the level is intermediate, as the question will not only help the students, but also help teachers develop assessment that allows students to solve problems in situation by applying acquired knowledge, facts, techniques, and rules, and perhaps in a various different way. So the keywords of application is the word of use or identify, which is students have to identify or use the correct form of grammar to fill in the blank or to complete the sentence. For instance, students need to find the meaning of words or phrases or idioms given in the text, which will cover the skill of understanding and also application. So the last part of application level is the comparison for different levels of learners. So to begin, there are 3 basic levels, which is beginner, intermediate, and also advanced. So to start, the beginner is difficulty of like they are easy to pick up and they use often in daily life. So for example, is a sentence, because as we all know, as human, in order to communicate, we need to form a sentence so that we are able to express what we are going to say. So the second part is the intermediate level, which is it can be confusing due to the word of mouth, but still used in daily life. For example, is a part of speech. So part of speech is they indicate how the word function in a meaning as well as grammatically within sentence, and it includes like a noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, adverb, preposition, conjunction, and also interjection. So it can be confusing sometimes to include which is the most suitable noun for a sentence, for example, but still we need to use it in daily life. And the last part is the advanced level, which is it only used in certain situation and rarely used in daily life. So for example, is a phrase. A phrase is a group of words that works together in a sentence, and oftenly it used to describe people, things, or maybe events. One example is like filled with joy, the girl jumped up and down. So this phrase, filled with joy, the girl jumped up and down, it used to describe the people or events. So the people, which is the girl, and the events are she is being happy, she is filled with joy, she jumped all over the places. So that's all from me. Thank you so much.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day to Doctor. I am Muhammad Nabil bin Muhammad Hisham. My metric number 158981, and I'm going to explain about the analysis part. So in analysis, the definition is we have to break the material into its constituent parts and make connections between this part. So which is students need to dive into the the reading materials that are given, and they need to allocate information from there and find the answer, maybe in the multiple choice questions. Okay, so this is the example for the multiple choice questions for the analysis part. Okay, so let's read the question together. Based on the statements below, choose the best answer. Okay, so as you guys can see, the question is not straightforward because it has a reading material given to students. Okay, so the information given is Lydia lives in a red house, and then Adrian is Indy's neighbor, and then Estelle lives between Indy and Lydia. Okay, so as you guys can see, there are reading materials or information given to students to use their knowledge and ability to dive into these reading materials in order to find the most suitable and the best answer for the question. Okay, students cannot simply get the answer from the questions directly because they need to analyze the reading materials given first in order to find the best answer. Okay, let's read the answer. A, all of them live in a red house. B, Adrian and Lydia are neighbors. C. Indy and Estelle have two neighbors. Okay, so let's dive into A. All of them live in a red house. Let's see if the information given is correct or not. Lydia lives in a red house. Only Lydia. So A is not valid. So B. Adrian and Lydia are neighbors. There's no point saying that Adrian and Lydia are neighbors in the question. Instead, in this is Adrian neighbors and Lydia is Estelle neighbors. Okay, so the B is not valid. C. Indy and Estelle have two neighbors. Okay, let's see. In the third point, Estelle lives between Indy and Lydia. So that means Estelle have two neighbors. Okay, so Indy. So Indy are Adrian's neighbors at the first place, and she also lives near to Estelle. So that means Indy also have two neighbors. So C is the most suitable and the best answer for this question, which is Indy and Estelle have two neighbors. Okay, so that is how multiple choice questions for analysis works. Okay, thank you. Okay, the next thing we need, to note, to bear in mind is this analysis multiple choice question is analytical questions. Okay, so we have the intermediate to advanced level, an MCQ or multiple choice questions based on the text given, which is, like I said earlier, the reading material given. Okay, so the learning standard for this part, which is the keyword is find and analyze. Okay, in the learning standard, we can see, or we need to write the keyword is find and analyze. So that means the question is going to be in the analysis part. Okay, so students have to analyze the statements, okay, or the relationship between the characters and locations and find the most suitable answer. Like I said earlier, students need to dive into the reading materials given or the information given and make connection between them in order to find the best answer. Okay, here I give you the comparison between the different level of learners. We can see we have beginners, intermediate, and advanced here. Okay, so for the characteristics, for the multiple choice questions in the analysis part, length of text we can see in the beginner we have short and around 3 to 4 lines only for the reading materials or the questions given. And then we have intermediate, moderate length, possibly 1 to 3 paragraph for the information given. And then for the advanced student, we have long, could consist of whole passage, okay, for the information. And then the difficulty level for the beginner can be sorted out through listing. Okay, there's no complex instruction, just listing, as easy as that. And then we have the intermediate student, requires listing, linking, and comparison. Okay, so intermediate, we have a more complex difficulty level for the analysis part. And then for the advanced, we have might involve numbers or more complex information. Okay, different from the intermediate and the beginner, advanced students maybe are given more complex information. It may consist numbers, graph, or any information that far more difficult compared to beginner and intermediate. As for the advanced students, okay, so they need to link the information together in order to find the most suitable and the best answer. So this is the examples of topics that we as teacher or creator of the questions can use or can put when we create a multiple choice questions for Form 1 English student. Okay, as you guys can see, there are science and technology, personal competence, physical development and aesthetics, spiritually, attitude and values, and many more. So okay, so this is just a partially example. There's so many more topics that we can use in order to make analysis multiple choice questions, because for example in science and technology there are so many information that we can put into the analysis multiple choice questions as a reading material for students to read and to find the most suitable and the best answer. Okay, this will put their knowledge and ability to analyze better, because the more information the better they can get analyzed or dive into information in order to link it and find the best answer. Thank you.
To summarize it all up, it is safe to say that the Bloom's revised taxonomy is a successful and valuable tool that may be used by educators in conjunction with other methodologies. You can utilize it to develop or amend a curriculum, evaluate the efficiency of learning objectives, or regulate the flow of class times, and also construct authentic forms of assessment. So, as we can see, each of the three types of learning that are categorized by Bloom's taxonomy, which are cognitive, emotional, and psychomotor, receives its own learning levels that are organized into a hierarchy. And also, because it is possible to use the phases of Bloom's taxonomy to assist students through the progression from simple memorization to more complicated analysis and innovation, there is no denying that it is a great tool for course planners. So here a list of links to articles where we use it as our reference. So that's basically it. On behalf of my group members, I would like to say thank you for everyone for the attention. Oh yes, and not to forget, feel free to ask us if you have any questions regarding on the things that we just presented or anything that's related to it. So that is all from us. Thank you.